Good evening. JLP constituency organizer for West Central St. Catherine and councillor caretaker for the Point Hill division in the constituency, Omar Francis, died this morning in a motor vehicle accident in Biles, St. Catherine. He was 34 years old and served as Vice President of G2K and Special Assistant to Health and Wellness Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton. Reports from the Guanabo Vale Police coming into our news center are that at about 12:30 a.m., Francis was driving a Toyota RAV4 motor car towards Spanish Town when he allegedly lost control of the vehicle as he attempted to negotiate a corner. The vehicle crashed into a culvert and Francis sustained multiple injuries. Passers-by assisted him to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, several members of the Jamaica Labour Party, most notably Prime Minister Andrew Holness, have expressed sadness and sent their condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Francis. In other news tonight, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has lauded the Biden-Harris-led United States administration for listening and paying keen attention to the unique obstacles faced by small developing states within the hemisphere. He was speaking at the 9th Summit of the Americas that was held in Los Angeles. He stated that similar to the establishment of the first Summit of the Americas in 1994, this latest edition should provide the plan to establish greater cooperation within the region.
The first Summit of the Americas in Miami in 1994 began with a proposal for the establishment of a free trade area of the Americas, an ambitious plan to eliminate trade barriers throughout the region. While subsequent policy disagreements led to this worthy initiative not being fully achieved, it did lead to the establishment of free trade arrangements between the United States and a number of countries in the region. This 9th summit comes at a pivotal time in global history. And if it is to fulfill the promise of the moment, it must serve as an opportunity to announce a new blueprint for regional cooperation. We must endeavor to create a new regional order with the same lofty ambition as the first summit in 1994. Jamaica.
He expressed that the recent turbulence brought on by the Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19 pandemic, among other things, is posing a challenge to the normal way that countries operate and has also hampered development in the region.
Excellencies, the COVID-19 pandemic, the climate crisis, the conflict in Europe, and the consequential impact on supply chains, food and energy security are challenging the order of the world as we know it. All the countries here, regardless of economic size and institutional maturity, have been affected by the same challenges. These challenges have led to the erosion of hard-won developmental gains. While thankfully Jamaica has been able to see some sustained growth over 6 quarters, predicted levels of growth for the region are not robust.
Prime Minister Holness highlighted that Jamaica welcomes the announcement of the Americas Partnership for Economic Prosperity and is interested in areas including human capital and skills development, among others. This as Jamaica runs the risk of being excessively depleted of skilled workers and consequently suffer growth restrictions.
As the nature of work and skills change, with the onset of the 4th Industrial Revolution, and with net migration of skills from poorer economies to richer economies, several countries in the region like Jamaica, face a skills gap which could become a binding constraint on our growth horizon. The region needs a thoughtful and coordinated approach in facilitating massive investments in human capital development, while at the same time pursuing nearshore policies to bring jobs to workers in their home countries.
Still making the news tonight, popular music producer Linval Thompson, otherwise called Shab Don, has been charged with 3 counts of murder that occurred on Marl Road, Rose Heights in St. James on Wednesday, May 25. Thompson has been charged with the murders of 24-year-old Shamario Calvin, otherwise called Chippy, of Rose Heights, 27-year-old Chadwell Fraser, otherwise called Bam Brain of Glendevon, and 25-year-old Tony Ann Reed, otherwise called Two Fly of Jarrett Terrace, all in St. James. Reports coming into our news center are that at about 4:20 p.m., a group of persons were standing along the roadway when armed men drove up and opened gunfire at them. All 3 persons were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. A statement was recorded and Thompson placed on an identification parade that was held on Saturday, June 11 of this year. Shab Don was positively identified and subsequently charged. His court date is being finalized. Still on crime, another teenaged girl is now at the center of a criminal investigation, this time in a case involving the suspected theft of cables belonging to one of the country's major telecommunications companies. The girl, along with 2 men, were arrested in an operation on the AGR Byfield Highway in St. Anne yesterday. Reports from the St. Anne's Bay Police coming into our news center are that at approximately 3 a.m., a police team was on patrol when they observed a Hino motor truck and a Nissan Tida motor car parked along the roadway. The team went to investigate, and upon their approach, a man entered the motor car and attempted to drive away. The motor car was intercepted and the driver arrested following preliminary investigations that indicated that more than 100 feet of cables had been cut from the area. The teenaged girl and both drivers were arrested and the vehicles seized. Investigations into this incident are ongoing. Still on crime, this time in Western Jamaica, a man from St. James has been taken into custody by the police after he fatally shot his brother, who attacked him with an illegal firearm at their home in Moko District on Sunday morning. The deceased has been identified as 46-year-old Sheldon Royal, otherwise called Bragadap, unemployed, also of Moko District. Reports from the Spring Mount Police coming into our news center are that at about 7 a.m. on Sunday, the now deceased was at home when he and his mother got involved in an argument. He then reportedly went inside the home and started to completely destroy his mother's furniture and wooden structure of the house with a piece of metal. Now, when cautioned by his mother, Royal reportedly brandished a handgun and threatened her, prompting his younger brother to intervene. However, Royal also pointed the illegal firearm at his younger sibling and threatened to kill him. Both brothers then got into a fight, during which Royal was accidentally fatally shot with his own gun by his brother. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, Royal was taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. His body was removed to the morgue for a post-mortem examination. The brother also turned himself into the police along with the illegal weapon. Following the incident, the police reported that Royal was a known violence producer who has been reported to the police for his involvement in several cases of simple larceny, predial larceny, arson, and destruction of property in and around his community. Continuing with the news, the government, after 2 years, will be removing the ban on new admissions to infirmaries across the island effective Friday, July 1, which will see infirmaries beginning to welcome new residents. The revelation was made by Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Honorable Desmond McKenzie, while addressing the Homeless Wellness Day of Care at Jarrett Park in Montego Bay, St. James on Friday, June 10.
There are over 1,100 residents within the infirmary island-wide. Every infirmary now has a long list of persons waiting to be admitted or waiting to take up a place in the infirmary. I know that the wait has been long, but I am pleased to make the announcement here today in St. James that commencing the 1st of July, we will now open our infirmaries to accept new residents to the facility. After 2 years, we are now opening the doors.
Additionally, the government, through its new social housing program, will also aim to provide at least 15 social houses for the parish before the end of the financial year.
So the outreach program for the persons living on the streets, for persons who find themselves in challenging situation. We're going to be tackling the question of housing, social housing in St. James. We have targeted to build in this year in St. James, working closely with the Office of the Prime Minister, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. We have some 15 social houses targeted for St. James in this financial year. Just a couple of weeks ago, we opened the Transitional Center in Kingston, again, which is the first of its kind. And we are committed, the government of Prime Minister Andrew Holness is committed that every parish in Jamaica will have a transitional center for persons who will need the services. That is a commitment that we have made, and it is a commitment that we are prepared to fulfill.
He noted that residents in infirmaries will benefit from having dietitians who will ensure that proper meals are prepared in the centers at least twice each day, and physiotherapists who will provide physical aid.
In our infirmaries, we have made new initiatives in our infirmaries. We brought in dietitians in our infirmaries. So it means that the residents in these infirmaries will have the benefit of proper meals. So you can't throw the salt pork in a pot any longer and give them. Dietitians are there that determine the meal that they eat. And you find that the residents feel more comfortable because they are eating healthier food. We have brought in physiotherapists into the infirmaries. Because after you're there and you lie down on the bed and you sit down, you need somebody to work you out. So the physiotherapists are in our infirmaries. Every infirmary across Jamaica has benefited from this program. And this is a first. It has never happened before.
However, Mr. McKenzie informed that there will continue to be restricted access regarding visitation as the COVID-19 pandemic is still ongoing, adding that each person who will apply for consideration will have to be fully vaccinated. and that they will have to have a COVID-19 test done prior to entering the facility. They will then be placed in isolation for whatever period the isolation lasts for, and after the isolation period, they will take one more COVID-19 test, and once they have passed that, they will be admitted to the infirmary. We turn our attention now to today's COVID-19 update, where Jamaica yesterday recorded 207 cases of COVID-19. Ranging in age from 4 months to 92 years, increasing the overall tally to 140,670. The death toll now stands at 3,084 after an 82-year-old female became the latest person to die from the virus. In tonight's COVID-19 parish breakdown, Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 56 cases, followed by St. Catherine with 54 cases. St. Anne and St. Thomas both recorded 17 cases. St. James recorded 15 cases. Portland, 10 cases. Manchester recorded 8 cases, while Westmoreland recorded 7 cases. Trelawney recorded 6 cases. Clarendon, 5 cases, while Hanover, St. Elizabeth, and St. Mary recorded 4 cases each. The country's positivity rate is now at 21.9%. Continuing with the news tonight, the police are reminding persons that several pieces of legislation make it an offense to share videos depicting children involved in sexual acts. This alert comes as the police notes several videos being shared on social media platforms this past week. Persons are being warned not to share these videos, and if they are sent to you, delete them immediately and advise the sender to do the same. Persons may be charged if they are found in possession of such videos, or if it can be proven that they shared the video at any time enabled by the Child Pornography Prevention Act, the Child Care and Protection Act, and the Cyber Crime Act of 2015. Instead of sharing the videos, persons who may be able to assist investigators are being encouraged to contact their local police, the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse at 876-926-4079 or Police Emergency 119.